everyone, welcome back to Sound Of. I'm your host, Danny, diving into Hot Fuss by The Killers. Can you believe it's been 20 years since this album first dropped? Yeah, it took me 2 decades to finally sit down and give this iconic album the review it deserves. Well, I guess better late than never, right? Well, let's laugh a bit at my snail's pace and celebrate the anniversary of an album that, honestly, hasn't aged a day. So buckle up. This is going to be a fun ride back to 2004 with the classic that still feels as fresh as ever. Hot Fuss burst into the scene in the early 2000s, wrapping us in a blast of synth rock that was all about the bright lights and big sounds. This debut album was more than just a collection of tracks. It was a neon-drenched journey that didn't just find its place in the music, it completely owned it. And yeah, it's left its mark that's hard to forget, not just on the charts, but on me and everyone else who hit play. It's like the Killers knew exactly what we needed to hear way before we did. So, the Killers, they started out right in the glitzy heart of Las Vegas, blending 80s vibes with rock in a way only they could. Think of that vintage punk spirit meeting modern melody. Their style, which is often categorized under the post-punk revival genre, harks back to the angst and attitude of 70s and 80s punk while infusing it with a modern melodic twist. This fusion created a sound that was both nostalgic and fresh, resonating with listeners across the globe. Songs like Mr. Brightside and Somebody Told Me exude the energy and allure of Las Vegas nightlife, with their upbeat tempos and tales of romantic intrigue. Meanwhile, all these things that I've done really goes big, you know? It's like reaching for something way beyond. Kind of like how Vegas dazzles you with all the glitz, but deep down, there's a lot more going on. It's all about looking for what really matters beneath all the flash. Growing up in Vegas certainly left its mark on Hot Fuss. It sprinkles a bit of the city's glam and grit into every single track. It's kind of like each song takes you on a Vegas night out, full of stories and neon lights. Quick detour before we jump into the songs though. Ever wonder what post-punk revival really means? Well, it's all about bringing back the edgy punk vibe, but with a fresh twist. Emerging in the late 90s and early 2000s, this genre resurrected the disenchanted spirit of punk music, marrying it with a variety of influences, from new wave to indie rock. Bands like The Killers were at the forefront, reviving the genre's emotional depth and stylistic quirks for a new generation to enjoy. Alright, well, let's dive into the tunes that hit me hard, in all the best ways. Jenny was a friend of mine. She really was. Not only opens Hot Fuss with a chilling confession, but also serves as a critical piece of the Killers' intriguing murder trilogy. This dark narrative weaves through their discography, telling a story of love, betrayal, and tragedy. The trilogy, which unfolds a complex relationship ending in despair, showcases the band's storytelling prowess, beginning with this gripping track that sets the stage for a deeper exploration into the emotional turmoil and consequences of a doomed romance. Now you're probably wondering, what are the other tracks of the trilogy, huh? Well, first there is Leave the Bourbon on the Shelf, which appears on the band's B-Sides and Rarities album, Sawdust. It introduces the story as it depicts the beginning of the end of a relationship, with the protagonist drowning his sorrows in alcohol as he deals with heartbreak and betrayal. It's followed by Midnight Show, a track from Hot Fuss. This track continues the narrative, describing the protagonist's actions leading to the murder of his former lover. The song captures the dark, impulsive decision that leads to the tragic climax of the story. Jenny Was a Friend of Mine presents the protagonist's interrogation by the police, where he insists on his innocence despite the evidence against him. It reveals his denial and the emotional turmoil following the events depicted in the other songs. Now, you might think this is just some wacky fan theory, but Brandon Flowers has indeed acknowledged the existence of the Murder Trilogy within the music. In an interview during their 2004 promo tour, he reviewed that Jenny Was a Friend of Mine serves as the concluding narrative of this trilogy, which spans, of course, across their songs to tell a unified story of a turbulent relationship culminating in tragedy. This trilogy showcases the band's ability to craft complex narratives within their music, blending their dynamic sound with storytelling that explores themes of love, betrayal, and the dire consequences of both. Transitioning into Mr. Brightside, the energy shifts to the raw emotion of jealousy and paranoia. Its infectious melody belies the pain of unrequited love, capturing the universal experience of watching from the sidelines, heart in hand. Mr. Brightside, in the Killer song, can symbolize anyone who has experienced jealousy or felt threatened by the possibility of losing a loved one to someone else. The song captures universal feelings of insecurity and the painful imagination of infidelity, making the character relatable to many listeners who have found themselves in similar emotional states. In Smile Like You Mean It, the Killers mix together fleeting moments, the bittersweet taste of youth slipping away, and that warm, fuzzy feeling of looking back. They're really nudging us to hold tight to the now, soaking in every second before it slips through our fingers. The song's reflective essence, paired with its melancholic, is that how you say that? Melancholic? I think so. Melody invites listeners into a deep contemplation of life's transient moments and the bittersweet nature of memories. Key lyrics like, "And someone is calling my name from the back of the restaurant," and "someone is playing a game in the house that I grew up in," evoke a strong sense of nostalgia, highlighting the inevitable progression of life and the importance of cherishing each moment. This track stands as a powerful reminder within the album's narrative, weaving a thread of reflection on the passage of time and the cherished yet fleeting nature of our experiences. Somebody told me, burst through the quiet with the rush of energy, taking a dive into the twists and turns of today's love lives. It's all about the mess and mix-ups that comes from gossip and the things people say. Pretty much nails the crazy vibe of trying to figure out where you stand in a world full of whispers. The song reflects on the challenges of navigating love and attraction under the scrutiny of gossip, capturing the essence of misunderstanding and the impact of external opinions on personal connections. A standout set of lyrics that encapsulates this theme is, "Somebody told me you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I had in February of last year." These lines highlight the confusion and blurred lines in relationships, emphasizing the song's exploration of identity and the influence of rumors. It's a track that questions as much as it declares, pulsating with the confusion of modern love. In all these things that I've done, a battle cry for perseverance and solidarity emerges, weaving a compelling narrative of perseverance and the quest for redemption through its emotional lyrics. Opening with a plea for inclusion in time of desperation, the song quickly evolves into an anthem of self-awareness and growth, insisting on the unchanging essence of the protagonist amidst life's tumult. It talks about how much we crave support and recognition, especially when we're dealing with the pain of a broken heart and trying to find our way. It really shines a light on how tough it can be to keep looking for the right path when you're feeling lost and worn out. The iconic refrain, "I got soul, but I'm not a soldier," embodies the song's core message of resilience and moral fortitude. This powerful statement acts as an exclamation, capturing the essence of perseverance against life's challenges. It resonates with listeners, especially me, offering a declaration of inner strength amidst adversity. You can't help but feel motivated and strengthened. Through its exploration of human vulnerability and the indomitable spirit, this song invites reflection on personal battles and the universal journey towards understanding and acceptance. making it an enduring anthem of the human condition and my personal favorite track on this album. In Andy, You're a Star, the Killers masterfully explore the emotional intricacies of teenage longing and idolization within the competitive atmosphere of high school. This track reveals the raw edges of unrequited love and distant admiration, articulating the vivid narrative of internal jealousy and isolation felt by an observer captivated by Andy, a high school athlete. The observer's mixed feelings of longing and envy, coupled with the poignant lyrics, underscore the loneliness and misunderstandings characteristics of youthful desire. This perspective allows listeners to deeply connect with the song, making Andy, You're a Star a profoundly relatable and underrated examination of adolescents' emotional landscape. Also, this voyeuristic viewpoint allows listeners to delve into the complex emotions associated with idolizing someone who seems unattainable, reflecting on the themes of isolation and the desire for recognition or acknowledgement from the object of their admiration. Believe Me, Natalie delves into themes of mortality, aspiration, and the fleeting nature of youth. Through its lyrics, the song addresses Natalie, urging her to recognize the urgency of living fully amidst the realization of life's brevity. A notable line, "Believe me, Natalie. Listen, Natalie. This is your last chance," encapsulates the song's message of seizing the moment and the importance of embracing life's opportunities before it's too late, highlighting the song's reflective and motivational undertones. Midnight Show by the Killers dives into the darker side of love and obsession, portraying a narrative that escalates to a dramatic and possibly tragic conclusion. The essence of the song is captured in the tense and foreboding atmosphere it creates, speaking to the dangerous consequences of unchecked desire. Lyrics from the song hint at a clandestine encounter that takes a dark turn, reflecting the song's theme of a love that consumes and destroys. The line, "I took my baby's breath beneath the chandelier of stars and atmosphere," metaphorically suggests a pivotal moment of intensity and finality, embodying the song's exploration of passion's darker facets. Now, closing with Everything Will Be Alright, it offers a stark contrast to the rest of the album, with its slower tempo and introspective mood. It serves as a soothing conclusion to the album's exploration of themes such as jealousy, heartbreak, and existential angst. The song provides a sense of closure and hope, suggesting that despite the tumultuous journey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. This track exemplifies the band's versatility and ability to convey complex emotion, leaving listeners with a lingering sense of optimism. In Everything Will Be Alright, the album offers a final note of solace and reassurance. Hot Fuss really shows why the Killers are such a big deal in music. They've got this killer mix of post-punk and indie rock that totally captured the vibe of the early 2000s. This album wasn't just their ticket to fame, it changed the game for music at that time. And Mr. Brightside, the moment that song hit, it was like an electric shock. That rush, that feeling of being totally alive, it's something special. It's like the Killers knew how to hit right where it counts, blending personal tales with universal truths. They managed to echo the big stuff, our hopes, dreams, and the drama of our times, all while keeping it super relatable. So in wrapping up Hot Fuss, it isn't just an album, it's a milestone, perfectly mixing edgy sound with raw, real emotion. It's proof that the Killers didn't just land in the scene, they owned it, creating an unforgettable soundtrack for our lives. So I'm curious, what tunes from Hot Fuss stuck with you? Have you ever found yourself belting out Mr. Brightside at the top of your lungs? Connect with me on social media or drop a comment on whichever platform you're listening to this on. And thank you for joining me on this sonic journey. Remember, It's not just about listening, it's about feeling the music. Let it move you until we meet again. This is Sound Of.